This episode of Speakers of Eidolon is made possible by our generous patrons. Special thanks to our Supreme and Master Speakers, Circa Barrakiel, Remy Azaleas, Ray Cypher, Omega Cat Comet, Erizu Yamakawa, Arcadia Lunashine, Dramavian, Nina Grimsdaughter, Casey Schaefer, Dimos, Lily Black, Hans Grenade, Sapa Chakwatol, Faris Gentoru, Cletus Oreo, Quick Levin, Luclean Atrell, Stella Bell, Ceres, Icy Lee, Lyria Rain, Pamela Isley, Umbral Wind, Naive Arano, Celeste Rasgris, Elenriel Maximus, Edwin, Bob CC, Fabson Voidworm, Raimi Maverick, Codred No, Mira Miri, Winebow Brood, Bay Barbalay, Kaiser Regina, Uzora Akari, AJ Brainswordson, Suno Shikano, Yowie Wowie, Chesha Saltiri, Gideon Ura, Buster Gearhold, and Nat Clay. Support the show and become a patron today at patreon.com/SpeakersXIV. Thank you.
This is Speakers of Eidolon.
Good evening, Aorcians. Welcome to Speakers of Eidolon episode 217. I'm Lakeel Bravestone, and I'm joined today by Rollo Des and Georgi Wisdom. Welcome,
Hello.
everyone. It is the week of Bozja, and because of that, we will of course talk about Bozja today. There will be spoilers. But we will talk about Bozja at the latter half of the show. So if you don't want to get spoiled, you can still watch this safely, and we will let you know when we'll talk about the spoilers, discuss spoilers. We'll also read an interview with RPG site, with Yoshi-P by RPG site about stuff, so that'll be nice. I feel off. I got put off. What happened? Why would you have that smile, Rollo?
No reason.
Okay. I just felt like something was wrong. I was like, is someone's gonna say that the overlay is wrong or a camera's not working? Okay.
It's just cold and I'm a little comfy.
I see.
He looks very comfy.
Yeah, you do look
like
very comfy.
It's like he's wearing Jon Snow's jacket.
Oh, it's just an IKEA blanket. Did you know that? Or an IKEA rug. It's an IKEA rug.
From the north. So it's from the north even.
Define. Do they call it a rug when it's actually a blanket, or is it actually supposed to be a rug?
It was just a rug.
Okay.
Oh.
Right. Anyways, stay tuned for the post-show. Questions from the Syndicate. We'll also be reading Mog Mail at the end of the episode if you have time. We must have time. In channel updates, for patrons, movie night, Halloween edition on October the 29th, 7 p.m. BST. Is that correct? Is it 6 p.m. BST?
Don't ask us.
I can never remember when we do the movie nights. Whenever movie nights happen, that's the time. Let's just say for now, 7 p.m. BST, 12 a.m. PDT. Remember to submit suggestions. I think it's pinned in the Patreon channel, so make sure you go in there, suggest some Halloween themed movies. All right, what have we done this week in 14? Oh, sorry, I need to pick someone. Right, that's how we do that. Georgi.
Yeah.
I've been doing Bozja.
We can't talk about Bozja.
No,
so
I know we can't talk about Bozja yet. So there's not really much else for us to talk about. I was going to do Bozja on my main at some point during this last week. However, because of the emergency maintenance, the day that I'd set aside for that, I couldn't do it. So I haven't actually started on my main, and as a result, I didn't have a chance to cap out my machinist, even though it's like one Bozja session away from being capped, so I was quite frustrated about that. So that's about all I've done this week.
Rollo, I'm assuming it's going to be Bozja heavy here as well?
I did some Bozja. I did get Alchemist to 80. That's done. So just Culinarian.
Nice.
Then I got all the crafters to 80.
Nice.
Then I can make stupid gear and do all this stupid crafting shit. So stupid.
Yeah. What is you on about?
What?
I'm a crafting man. I told you.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Did you do the Crystalline main storyline, Rollo?
I did one of them. And then I was like, this is too much work. So I'll do it.
It's easier. It's easier and it gives more experience, Rollo. Please, it's not too much work.
No, I want to get my Ishgardian scripts and do my dailies with the dwarves. That's easy enough.
Okay.
I will do those stories though, because I did like the gathering one. I think I did the whatever the fucking carpenter one is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't think the carpenter one's very good. And I was going to say, you liked the gathering one?
I love that you immediately critique what Rollo liked. You like that one? Actually, the coolest one.
I liked picking up the doo-doo. It was funny.
Yeah, that was funny. I agree with that. But I like how difficult it is to gather. I like the idea that you need to be level 70-something to gather fucking dinosaur poop.
You need experience for that.
And then you see it at the end, and you're like, wow, it was real.
Yeah.
Wow, it uses the Brachiosaur model.
Yeah.
That's about it, though. I've been... I mean, I do this every week, but every week I'm grinding out fates so I can get those precious bi-color gems. That's...
Are you still grinding them out? I mean, I'm also doing that. I'm just always surprised when I hear other people talk about it.
Because I'm always doing it, mostly in the Dawn Meg era or Il Meg, just because it's, you do your beast tribes, you're like, oh well, it's fate too, get my fate challenge of the week, and then you just grind up all the fates, and then you get so much bi-color gems, you buy fucking songs, and you sell the songs for a couple million gil, and you're rich.
Yeah, because most people that buy them only buy them for themselves because bi-colored gems are difficult to obtain otherwise.
Yeah.
What regions have you kept shared fates in, Rollo?
Just Dawn Meg. Or Il Meg. Fuck. Il Meg. I've gotten close to other areas because, like, recently I was doing... what's the last job I leveled? I can't remember. Warrior. I was just kind of, like, grinding out fates every couple levels in like different areas, so they're pretty close to capping all of them, but I still need to do a couple bit of work, especially in the Tempest. I only have like 20 fates.
Exactly, that's the one that
Tempest.
No, there's no reason to go there, and like you need to be like level 78 or 79 to even make it easy to grind fates there.
Yeah.
At which point, why are you even doing fates for the most part?
Exactly. So I got to dedicate, but it is kind of weird that I can see how many fates I've done in the entirety of Shadowbringers areas, because none of them are capped except for Il Meg. But it's like, oh shit,
this is not
fates.
Interesting.
Oh, fine. I need my bi-color gem.
Okay, cool. To all of you that left and come back for the VOD so that you can skip this part, welcome back. Yes.
How many shared fates have you done, Lakil?
None. I haven't even unlocked the Tempest in the log. For
that's right, you haven't.
I do nothing. I don't even touch the system.
Why not?
I don't care. Fates! I hate fates!
Okay, serious questions. So, does it tell you anywhere in Shadowbringers, like when you start it, what the fuck bi-color gems are, or like where even that button is? Because I have talked to multiple people who have started after Shadowbringers came out, and I'm like, yeah, just go to your bi-color, like to your shared fates menu, and look how much you got there. And they're like, the what? I can buy mount speed?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think it tells you.
No, I don't think it has. I think the only way people found out about it was via the patch notes or watching live letters.
Yeah, I think there's a green pop-up. I think there is an active help menu for it. But most people just click it on and click it away. But I don't know.
Yeah, click it away.
Yes.
What did you do this week, Lakil?
Nothing. I've done Bozja. And let me say, the fact that I hate fates do not mean that I love the fates in Bozja, but at least the ones in Bozja are more well made. Like
Wow. Everyone's
we'll
a
talk.
critic.
We'll talk about the review of that later. Okay. Also, well, I did level all my classes to 80, so I'm done.
Congrats.
That's right.
Yes.
Have you picked up the Amara yet?
No.
I didn't think so.
You could have enjoyed the music.
Yeah. Maybe I should be like Rollo and just never get them out because I don't care.
Don't.
I mean, if you don't care, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay. That's well, we've done Bozja this week, so we have to wait to talk about that until we get to that point in the show. Let's talk about recent events. Make it rain. Was there anything in the patch notes, by the way? I just realized. Is there anything worth mentioning that was added in this patch? I don't think so.
Not really.
No.
I mean, if you want to briefly talk about Skysteel Tools,
Right.
we can talk about it
Because
now.
we don't really have that planned today. Skysteel Tools, no glow. There's no glow.
Nope.
No glow on
this
the
step.
Skysteel Tools.
We have received this information from a couple of sources.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I also want to talk about... Well, okay. We have to remember to talk about housing. Is there anything else to say about the Skysteel Tools?
They look ugly.
I haven't started
heard
on
the
them
story-
yet, but so...
I've heard the story is interesting, and also that it makes people hate Rowena even more.
All right. I can imagine, yeah. Okay, so... Housing.
I hope you got it.
For a lot of people, again, it was the first time doing the housing extreme. Very obvious when I went to Limsa on patch day. I knew that it was going to be... I mean, Ragnarok, very populated server, so things go very quickly here. I think about I would say between 5 and 10 minutes after patch went live, everything was sold out except for like 1 or 2 like small plots in the wards, as usual. I've never seen a more hostile environment in Limsa where people are like, it's like vague posting. Like they're not mentioning people, but they're like, oh yeah, you stood there, I saw you. It's like there was a lot of that and I thought I'll walk around in the new wards and there's just like chaos in shout chat. Mwah! Another housing extreme over with.
The system sucks.
Yeah, there's so many band-aids on top of this housing system now. It's incredible.
Hey, as someone that lives in Goblin, I think the system works just fine.
Shut up. I used to have it like that. Then they ruined Zalera.
Yeah, they picked the right server to go invade.
They picked the wrong one.
Yeah. Yes. So it's yeah. I'm sorry. For a lot of you, it was your first time participating in this hunt. Now you know what it's like. I've been burned by this before. I've been houseless for. I mean, I would say that my journey was slightly more horrible because I had a house. I gambled the FC's house, lost, so the entire FC was houseless for like until the next patch when they added wards to the housing district. No, actually, we had to take Orange's old house. Orange had like an empty house that he, by the way, bought with stolen money.
You're just admitting that now.
Yeah, from the FC chest. We've talked about this before.
Stolen money. Okay,
Yeah.
I thought you
Oh,
were
no.
saying something else.
No. Stolen from the FC chests. Yeah, so, yes, anyways. What are we talking about? Housing. Yes. Were you going to say something, Yergi? Did I
I was
dream?
going to say, I thought it was your house.
No, it was Orange's house. Orange gave us
then.
his house, so we lived in his
I mean,
house until we could buy a new one.
I mean, it was the FC's money, so...
Technically, yes. So, yeah. Well, not even technically. It was actually our money. How kind he was.
Yeah, how nice of him.
All right. Let's talk about Also, last funny note about that story to make it extra sad, because yes, we got a house, but the reason we changed, we wanted a new house to begin with, was because we wanted to get out of the goblet. Orange's house was in the goblet. So we just came back.
From the goblet.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about Make It Rain. It's coming up on Wednesday, October 21st. 1 a.m. PDT, 6 and ends on November 20th, 6:59 a.m. PST. Oh, that's a nice reminder. You're about to turn your clocks back. You're going from PDT to PST between October 21st and November 20th. Don't know when, but oh my God, when do we do that?
To?
North America.
Okay.
The people that use PDT and PST. November 1st for America. There you go.
Terrible.
Yep. It's awful. And we do it.
No. Yes. I don't know.
We do
Just
it.
sleep, man.
You get 1 extra hour of sleep, Rollo.
It's the good
beautiful.
This is the good
It's
one.
the extra hour one.
Yeah. It's like 2 weeks for you. Yeah, well, then we're the same then, Mela. So in 2 weeks. It's the last Sunday of October. Yes. Yes. Time. We're very good at it here. Yes, so Make It Rain. Well, what is there to say about this?
Well, they gave us a little quest description that's been updated on the website, which you didn't have in the patch notes because it wasn't there before. Yeah, it's a sentence if you want to read it.
Oh, they give us a whole sentence? Nanafon is glancing about with a hint of frantic desperation.
Do you remember who Nanafon is?
That's the stupid. That's the Lalafell with the. Is that the Lalafell that was involved in the Cactuar thing quest?
Yes.
You want to be a Sabatender?
Yeah,
he wanted to be a Senor Sabatender. That's correct.
Yeah.
I hate his stupid face on this banner.
Oh, is he on the banner as well?
He's got a little shit-eating grin. He's like,
oh yes.
So cute.
Well,
I'm sure you like the person standing next to him. Rollo.
you don't know how I feel about things.
we
okay?
know how you
Dare
feel about this particular thing, Rollo. We know how you feel about that.
It's like she's gonna eat me. I don't like it.
She's gonna eat you.
Well, speaking of eating you, Halloween should have been the event right now. Don't know how that ties in with eating you.
I was gonna say.
I was thinking monster eating people. Halloween.
Yeah.
It was a bigger leap than I expected. So yeah, sorry. Halloween should have been the event, or All Saints Wake. There is no sign of All Saints Wake anywhere in this. What they're going to do is this. They're going to be like, Make It Rain is happening. Also in Gridania, there's a haunted house. That's how it's going to be. I mean, but I feel like they specifically said that they were going to try to make it have it fit somehow into the Make It Rain event. So far, it doesn't look like it. We only get 2 event items as well. There's like what's the emote called?
I consider
the other one.
I consider the second one an event item.
The other one is a kick to the face, but the first one is like what's it called? Like think or whatever. There's like a question mark over your head.
It's called consider.
Consider.
This time.
Yeah. And a bronze MGP voucher or whatever it's called, which is what 500 MGP.
5,000. That would be a kick in the face. It's 5,000 MGP, which is a little bit better, but still.
Yeah. Well, Crystal Tower Striker, Monster Toss Machine, and Kafakura Machine furnishings may be purchased at a reduced MGP cost from the seasonal shop. In addition, certain items available during previous iterations of the event can be obtained from the same vendor. So there's that. Also, of course, as it is with Make It Rain, there will be increased MGP from all minigames.
Get your Fenriers, get your Corporacurs, get your whatevers.
Yeah.
For a whole month this time. It's the longest Make It Rain campaign of all time.
Yes.
So for the last 4 or so years that it's happened.
I feel like
the
yeah, go on.
get the fucking pugilist trainer. The gladiator trainers. What have they been up
The
to?
miner.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah,
miner.
And the minor one
the
too.
miner, yeah.
Aside from when you visit them in the job quest, what have they been up to? Huh?
I used to love the pugilist man. He was kind of like Hildebrand.
Hamon Holy Fist.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
His name's Hammond. Of course it is.
Yeah, go on.
I like the emote, but I like the Eureka emote as well. Better than the content.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, well, there you go. Make it rain. It is an event. It's an event.
Well, it might be good. The first Make It Rain campaign was good, and since then, they haven't really been that interesting.
I like the Sabatender one. They got the do a little dance.
That was
a nice
very,
little quest, but
It was very short.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
The first one I liked because it was a whole like murder mystery. Well, it wasn't a murder mystery because no one died, but it was a mystery.
Yeah. It's kind of kicking a dead horse to discuss this, but it is really strange that beating a dead horse. Is that
Yes.
the saying?
Go on. yes. It's fine. Everyone understood what you meant.
This should have been an event that took place during summer.
Yes.
When we had the drought. When we had nothing. They could have given us this.
It should
Maybe
also
it wasn't
probably.
done.
All they have to do
It
is
probably
turn
wasn't.
on the MGP increase valve, and that's it. They can just
That's
here's
what
all
they did
before
the
Storm.
old event things, and they can pop out.
That's what.
They can pop out emotes. They popped out emotes during this pandemic for the Mog station. They could have popped this. All he does is, this is already, by the way, like an emote that exists in the game. The only thing that's new is the question mark above your head.
Hey, maybe there's like some exaggerated aspect to it that will happen that's not captured in the picture.
Maybe it explodes
Yeah,
in
you
money
know.
because it's Make It Rain.
Yeah.
Yeah, the question mark when it disappears, just money. Well, but that's what we're getting. Deal with it.
Okay.
Uh,
I'll look forward to it.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'll do some stuff.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, it has a question mark. It's a pinkish question mark above your head.
Mm-hmm.
Think Eureka emote with the exclamation point, but with a question mark instead. All right, let's jump into an interview. This is from RPG site. I did not totally not just read that off the overlay. RPGsite.net. This is with Naoki Yoshida about working from home and passing the torch to others. Scary.
I believe it's the first post 5.3 interview we have with Yoshida.
Okay, yeah. Spoilers for Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers. So, there you go. I don't think that was necessary for me to read, but there you go. I think most people here are up to date on Shadowbringers. A lot was riding on patch 5.3 for Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers. Reflections in Crystal, as it's better known, had to conclude what many consider to be the best storyline in the series' history. Shouldering sky-high expectations is part of the job for Final Fantasy XIV's development team, but this time they had to endure the extra weight of a global pandemic. Oh yes, my favorite part of every interview. We indeed faced many difficulties during the development of patch 5.3 due to COVID-19, Naoki Yoshida, game director of Final Fantasy XIV, explains to me over email. The entire development staff worked proactively in quickly setting up the equipment and infrastructure required to arrange an at-home development environment. Given the universal reverence for Shadowbringers' narrative, Yoshida thought it wise to prioritize tasks around staff working on the main scenario during this transition. Our scenario team solidified many points of the plot and story production while waiting for development itself to restart, Yoshida states. They were able to maintain a positive mindset by leveraging this tough situation and doing everything in their power under the circumstances. Their determination paid off, as Reflections in Crystal was a hit, even earning a nomination at this year's Golden Joystick Awards for Best Expansion. Remember to vote for them.
Still very weird that they're nominating a patch as an expansion.
Also remember, still playing category. We've received a lot of positive feedback. It's a relief, Yoshida explains. Overwhelming support from our players during development motivated everyone. That bond between our players and teams contributed significantly to this patch's success. Yeah. Stuff. We've sort of heard him say this before. They did it. The tragic tale of Elidibus, Reflections in Crystal's Big Bad, played a significant part in that warm reception. Quote, no, not quote. I'm not going to say every time there's a quote, because there's like a million quotes in here. When we developed A Realm Reborn, we chose only the Ascien's fundamental setting, Yoshida states. When it came to things like the intent and mission of each Ascian, the scenario and lore teams sculpted those aspects through further discussion and deliberation as time went on. Elidibus makes sporadic appearances throughout Final Fantasy XIV's overarching narrative, typically only revealing himself when fellow Ascians need a good scolding. For years, fans had no idea what his greater purpose was. During Reflections in Crystal, though, his destiny was laid bare. Even among the original Ascians, Elidibus' role was always to be the emissary to maintain balance within the world, Yoshida explains. Elidibus never saw stability in this role through his interactions with the Warrior of Light. As a result, the principles behind his actions may have been difficult for players to understand fully. Yoshida believes this storyline struck such a chord because Elidibus' story unfolded much differently than Emmett Selk, the previous antagonist. True. Players might have understood Elidibus on a deeper level had they had the chance to travel with him, as they did with Emmett Selk. But we did not want to repeat this pattern with this chapter of the story, Yoshida clarifies. Instead, we tried to make Elidibus easier to understand as a character by projecting him onto a particular someone who supports the Warrior of Light. I'll leave it up to everyone's imagination as to who we projected Elidibus on, though. What?
Mysterious. So I've seen people speculating that he's talking about Graha in this particular quote, but I don't quite see that.
No. Who supports the Warrior of Light?
Who projected Elidibus on?
Graha? Yeah, I mean, I can see it maybe. For Graha.
Chat mentioned Ardbert.
Oh yeah, Ardbert. Yes. Yeah, I can see that. Oh yeah, it will be Ardbert.
Yeah, it makes more sense because Ardbert was more so trying.
But he makes it seem so secretive.
Yeah,
I don't know why. I don't know why he's hiding this particular piece of information. It is quite strange.
Graha literally says the exact same line as Elidibus at one point, and it goes back and echoes that line, and you literally say, wow, Elidibus said that.
Oh.
Yeah, that's true. Why was he so secretive about it? He's revealed, like, everything else is being spoiled. Why is he... Okay, whatever. Final Fantasy XIV scenario team took ages deciding the fate of Elidibus, only finalizing the storyline just before Shadowbringers came out. Yoshida gave them free rein to take the story wherever, barring one critical condition. I had one directive regarding this, Yoshida clarifies. It's clear that Elidibus has a distinct concept of justice, so let us ensure that we preserve that in the story and not worry whether players will end up liking him or hating him.
They were able to keep... Yeah? They were able to keep to, like, Elidibus' sense of morality or, like, mission as regards to what he appeared like before. Because I was always worried that, like, he seemed very... one note prior to this last patch, and they were able to like explain that away in a particularly interesting manner.
Yeah. On the opposite side of the moral spectrum, do you have anything to add, Rollo?
I was going to say it was definitely one of those things where you could kind of tell Elidibus was not fully fleshed out until
Yeah.
this patch.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just appeared and would say ominous things and bye.
which is they did a really good job at just making that make sense. Like
Yes.
he was essentially a primal, so therefore his mind was gone. Okay. On the opposite side of the moral spectrum was G'raha Tia, aka Crystal Exarch, the fan favorite good boy that spent most of Reflections in Crystal on the precipice of death. His fate, however, was a much more contentious topic for the scenario team. The scenario team and I discussed multiple times at length deliberating the fate of the Crystal Exarch, Yoshida explains. We came up with several different potential outcomes, and we were in discussions on a few shortlisted ideas up until the very last minute. But G'raha Tia probably wasn't ever going to eat dirt. We did make it a point to take a direction that avoided having the Crystal Exarch's body crystallize and shatter, Yoshida clarifies.
Very specific.
Yeah. Reflections in Crystal's theme was a succession of the soul, so our discussions were more on how his soul would be passed on. The Crystal Exarch will be starting his new life now, following the events of the patch, and to speak of it any further at this point feels a bit insensitive, so let's keep it a secret.
Insensitive.
He's using weird words, but yeah.
Interesting choice of words. I would have liked it if G'raha shattered into a million pieces.
Oh, and then
It would have been sad.
And then we could use those pieces as like consumables. They become like a consumable that we can use to get like stronger. We eat.
Still waiting
G'raha.
for that.
The furnishing item.
Yeah.
The
statue.
furnishing item.
Make
We
it
saw
durable as well. I want a pink G'raha. I want a blue G'raha. I'll fill our garden with just G'raha statues in all different colors.
It's not going to be difficult to replicate. They have the model.
I'll make a G'raha maze. Like you have to navigate through the G'raha.
See, sadly, I don't think you have enough item slots to make a maze.
That's true. Damn. Make it an indoor item, and I'll make our
we
whole
show
house.
him the statue too. Like we show him the fucking minions. You're like, oh look,
Yeah.
they've got a step further. It's
Look what I went back to the first and picked up. Yeah. Okay. Right. Throughout Shadowbringers, from its interweaving plot lines right down to the song Tomorrow and Tomorrow, there's an inherent message of trusting those that come after you. During the finale of Reflections in Crystal, the player must exchange farewells with their friends and allies before leaving for Eorzea. I was curious if this was a torch pass from the Warrior of Light player to the people of Norvrend. Yoshi-P. The Shadowbringers storyline has always carried an underlying theme since the beginning. Inheriting or succession of the soul, Yoshida explains. We hinted at this in the title of patch 3.4, Soul Surrender.
Okay. 4 years ago.
Yeah. But in Shadowbringers, the warrior... This is interesting. We'll get to it. But in Shadowbringers, the Warrior of Light brings with him the ideas, thoughts, and hopes that we have continued since then and passes it on. This is yet another mention of Heavensward.
I'm telling you, remember the anti-tower.
I don't think the anti-tower is... Okay,
The Anti-Tower is one of the... Okay, yeah? What?
I was just going to say, I think the anti-canal might be relevant at some point. I don't think it's next patch.
No, not next patch.
I didn't say next patch.
No.
I was next expansion. That's my thing.
Sorry, what were you going to say, Lakil?
I don't know. We can move on.
Okay.
We'll discuss more about Heavensward when we get to Bozja.
You're going to talk about how the anti-tower is a really efficient way of getting the second step of the relic.
Yeah, I was going to mention that, but that's definitely we're going to wait. Ooh, are we going to talk about it? Right. Every farewell in Reflections in Crystal carries this theme. Through their experiences with the Warrior of Light, watching them fight with such passion, Reen and the people of Norvrend go to carry that torch, Yoshida muses. I feel this can be said about us and the current global situation. The effects brought about the effects brought about by COVID-19 are not subtle, and we see vigorous debate occurring on things like morals, values, and race. The world is currently in a time of revolution. What is happening? Yoshi-P, are you right? And while this is something that may not be solved within our generation, I think we can pass on our torch, our thoughts and feelings to the next.
Hopefully.
Okay. During Reflections in Crystal's curtain call, Grahatia hints at a fast approaching grand finale. Some have taken this as an end to no one has taken this as an end to Final Fantasy XIV itself, but that's what he's saying. Some have taken this as an end to Final Fantasy XIV itself, but Yoshida is quick to squash those fears. We've certainly come closer to the finale of the Hydaelyn and Zodiac story arc with Shadowbringers, with the key themes of that being Ascians, Hydaelyn, and Zodiac, Yoshida elaborates. Well, I'll refrain from saying anything further. To be clear, though, Final Fantasy XIV won't be coming to an end or anything, so nobody needs to worry about that.
So they are planning beyond 6.0.
Yeah.
Essentially, that's what I have to take away from this.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's lying again. But you know what?
He does lie.
He has that shirt.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. The end is nigh for the story, but not the game. I mean, yeah.
For this arc.
For this arc.
For this arc, yes.
The only arc we've ever known for this game will come to an end. But that does not mean the end of the game.
The next arc?
The thought of having a new arc is very strange. Like, what is it? What's that going to be? Like, are we not having to deal with Garlemald?
Well, you see, here's the thing. He didn't mention
Garlemald. You're right.
Next arc.
No Ascians, that will be weird.
I will be frustrated if we don't deal with Garlemald in the next expansion.
Well, there is stuff in Bozja that we can talk about. Well, speaking of Bozja, we've reached that point. We'll talk about the story, but we'll talk about the story last. Let's do everything else first, so that if you haven't done the story, you can still listen to our review of everything else. Okay. Let's. Okay, Bozja. Let's talk about the map. This. Okay, so Bozja, the new. It's almost rude to call it Eureka 2.0, but that is essentially what it is. It's their attempt at making, in my opinion, what Eureka should have been at launch. It has logos action. Well, what are they called? Forgotten
Lost
fragments.
actions.
Lost actions.
It has. It basically has everything that Hydatos had, but this is the first map. Everything is there. Mounts available immediately. Good. There's without spoiling, there's something in in one of the quests where they mention like the things that you look for to unlock flying. It has the same name, you know. Yes, ether currents. And I thought, wait, we're gonna have, like, you have to find ether currents to unlock mounts in like the upper zones. No.
That'd be cruel if it auto-dismounted you as soon as you got into the later sections of the map.
The fate system in this one, like, there's constantly fates going. There's critical engagements going all the time. Yeah. It's a very busy zone. It's almost like the few times that there is downtime, you're almost a little relieved, because now you can go and you can finally deal with all the clusters in your inventory. I don't
know about you guys, but I definitely get lost in okay, one more critical engagement. Okay, one more skirmish.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the raid's up now. Like, I can't just leave.
I've felt that Bozja is a much more successful combination of both Diadem 2.0 and the Eureka system. Because it has things from both of them. It has like constantly spawning fates, in this case skirmishes, that are actually interesting, or at least more interesting than the ones in Eureka. Not Eureka, in the Diadem.
Yeah, because remember,
it has ranked.
Yeah, go on.
It has ranked level. It has ranked level like mobs in the field as well.
Yes.
which is not something that was in Eureka.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep confusing the two of them in my mind.
Yeah.
And it got rid of fucking elementals' weaknesses and strengths.
Yay!
You didn't like spin the wheel? It was fun.
The fucking wheel.
No,
You
I
saw a
didn't.
mob and then you clicked the wheel a couple times.
Yeah. Yeah.
You didn't die or you did more damage.
God. Yeah. So the map itself is very. I wouldn't say it's a beautiful looking place, but it shouldn't either.
No.
It's a battlefield. It's essentially where an entire city was blown to fuck. Like, there's nothing left of it other than a few charred ruins here and there.
I like the second two areas you go to. First one's essentially a big trench.
Yeah.
But the second two ones are a lot more interesting. They have more architecture. And just...
And you can see like the buildings having like melted. They have the corrupted crystal thing going. It's really cool.
The first one is the one that is closest to what is apparently the epicenter of where the
city,
the citadel blew up.
Yeah. It's it's a cool map, and it gets better the higher up you get. There's more details when you get to like the top part. There's more stuff to look at. Well, let's talk about the skirmishes, because you mentioned Diadem. Diadem had like too many fates, and they all had the same titles. They would just randomly pick out of a pool of available names. So they were not unique. They were just, here's a cluster of mobs, kill the mobs. In Bozja, they are unique. They have lore. They have a big lore dump thing on the side, and there's even we haven't even mentioned that yet, but I guess this is where we mentioned that. But when you defeat certain bosses in Fates, you get a chance of obtaining lore, which essentially goes into your collection, and that's a lot of lore.
It's a
lot of lore.
It's an actual compendium.
Yeah,
compendium.
It is, and it's. I'm still overwhelmed by it. I haven't had. I need to set off. I need to have time to just sit and read. It's like reading fucking a book because there's so much.
They're super cool though. Like, shout outs to the fucking summoner cat girl who runs away.
Yeah.
And like unleashes a fucking imperial beast, and then you help her out in a fate.
Yeah. There's so much. There's even what I like is that they contain lore about Bozja as well, like about where they're from. Like we get to see location. I always love that. Right now I love not knowing about Bozja. Only thing I know is what they like drip feed us through the quests and the little lore bits.
I want to say drip feeding is not necessarily the term I would use with the amount of information they have given.
Well, I'm talking about like not the story, but like in the Well, we don't know. Yeah. I'm still having a hard time visualizing how Bozja and Dalmasca like looks in our world. I know a few city names now, and I recognize the references that they throw around from 12. Oh God, I can't believe we haven't set. Okay, we're gonna have to discuss the music as well after this. Right. So skirmishes they feel unique. Well, they feel
some of them are
as unique as they can get. Yeah.
I was doing a skirmish because Georgi and Lukio had left, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do a skirmish really quick. You know, it was take a little while. So I got like 25% health, and there's 7 people in the zone because it was a dying instance. I was like, oh, it'll be fine. Got down to 20%, just healed itself up back to like almost 70% because no one had an interrupts. And we all just fucking gave up and left. It's so like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Some of them are I think we can. I mean, if there's anything else skirmishes, fates, essentially, we know the deal. But yeah, like Rollo said, some of them are a little rough. Critical engagements. I don't think we can talk about critical engagements without addressing the Hunt for Red Choctober. Triggered by...
That's mean.
Yeah.
As it should be.
Fine.
The first time we did that on stream. The first time, I was so. It was like sensory overload. There's like they were like, oh yeah, people hated the red chocobos for Evilise, and I can just visualize Woolhead fucking cackling as he because I'm sure he has had a lot to say in this project, right? We have that confirmed, don't we?
He's the head writer.
Yeah, he is the head writer.
For this
but for the
story.
story. But does he have anything to do with the stuff in Bozja, the Southern Front, except for
Probably
the story?
not combat design or encounter
I
design.
would assume he would be like, I like the red chocobo shit. Yoshi-P, put that in, and it's like, oh, okay, make it worse. And he did. Yeah, there's the red chocobo critical engagement is probably the most difficult one. I would say though, I also think the construct fate, the math man, is back, and he's brought a twist, 2 twists. He still does the math, but now he does the forced march, which is really cruel. Because not only do you have to remember what the primes are, but you have to position yourself correctly so you don't walk into the fucking wall and die. Or
too
walk
far away.
Too far away. Yeah. But pro tip for those that are doing the Red October, reflect.
That's fucked up, but I love it.
Yeah. It reminds me of
also,
Eureka. Yeah, go on.
It does. Remember, it only works on the red chocobos.
Yeah.
Magic skills. Don't think you can stand in front of the dashing chocobos and not take any damage.
There are still the only thing it can help save you from are the meteors and the dark red one. The dark red one that rotates around the arena, and then they trap you, and then you can see it. It's like one away from you. And you know that the next one, the moment it appears under you, you're dead. If you are not out of its way when it's under, you cannot escape one if you're directly underneath you.
You just have to stand in the middle, and then see where it's going to be.
Yes.
You wait until it clears somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah. Because it's a good point that chat brings up. You can't qualify for the duel if you use reflect. Because the vuln stacks still can't they still penalizing you from qualifying for the duel that takes place afterwards.
Yeah.
I just won't get the duel from that CE, I guess, then. I guess I'll have to.
Yeah. I think I'll live with that. I think I'll be fine. Yeah.
Have you guys done the duels yet, by the way?
No.
No, I still haven't gotten a chance to get into one. I've qualified to potentially queue up for it, but I haven't been picked yet.
Yeah, same. I've been. Yeah. There's so much stress.
It's hard.
There's the added pressure of having people watch you as well. It's like, oh.
Oh, then I think it's funny because people just when you die, they just come up and pet you and then res you. And oh, thanks. Feel better. But I did it and I fucked it up exactly how I thought I would. What
did you do?
Well, I went in as a dancer, which was because I was leveling up dancer, and I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna switch once I'm inside though, because I don't know how to particularly play dancer, and it's also seems like I'd have better DPS with someone with me. So let me switch jobs. Oh, you can't switch jobs while you're preparing for CEs. You spend 2 minutes in there, and you can't switch jobs. So I got pretty far. I got to 50% on my first run.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
But then I just fucked up, and I just stood in an easy AoE. Not even the pushback. Not even the fucking. Not even the invuln thing I had to do. Just stupid one. The puddle you get to drop around the arena. I'm upset.
Yeah, every time I think I've watched 3 duels, and they all seem to die at. I think there's that stress and the sensory overload that a lot of these critical engagements and the duels have, is that you have all these AoEs that they have to place, and then they do the towers, and there's always the second tower, because when you get the tower, you also get that the mechanic from a monastery with the guy with the gun, Mustadio. Yeah, you have to face him, but it spawns the second tower, and they are so focused on not hitting the AoEs and also facing him that they don't see the tower that just spawned behind them. Died.
Yeah.
All 3 duels, the same death.
Have you seen the last duel? It's fucking against the whoever this black mage is that keeps showing up in a ton of skirmishes.
Yeah. There's actually apparently more than 3. I thought there were only 2, but I thought there were only 3, but apparently there's 5 duels.
Oh.
I might be mistaken on that because I believe one of them is Gabriel.
Yeah.
Which one's the black mage?
That's the last one in the 3rd area.
Mm.
It seemed like
I thought that was Lion, or is Lion the one in the 2nd area?
I think that might be the 2nd area.
Okay, so then there are only 3. Maybe I just got confused.
Yeah. Okay. Well, critical engagements. We talked about duel now, but critical engagements. They are overworld battles done right, because you're not transferred to an instance. You're still in the overworld. You can literally target monsters outside of the arena, which is sometimes annoying. but you're there. People can come watch as people fight, and then if it's Hunt for Retroctober, all the healers will make a circle around the critical engagement arena, ready to res everyone.
They're like vultures, seagulls.
I need the achievement. Come on. It's they're real though. Those fights, a lot of those Cs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some of them are pretty clear about what you do and not too hard.
Yeah.
But they hurt.
Yeah.
You can die.
Mm-hmm.
You have to pay attention.
They are mini trials. They have mechanics and yeah.
I like the Avatar one with the cannons around the edge.
Yeah.
And you have to pay attention to how when they get 2 charges.
Mm-hmm.
Because you think, oh, the tether, that means they can activate. No, not necessarily.
Which is like a weird, like they've sort of taken the concept of the coil fight, which has the towers as well, but they're like charging up. So I like that. It's they also have the Final Fantasy VIII Cerberus in there, which is nice. There's some cool bosses. There's some horrible ones like the bird with the 2 claws and the alien mouth. They're cool. I like them. It's different enough from the Fates to not feel like just a glorified Fate. It's an actual battle.
I like them too. You get a lot of metal. You get a lot of XP.
Yes.
How much XP these things give you, skirmishes, and it's like a million usually for a skirmish.
Yeah,
or like 7
around that. And it gets like, it's about when I was at like the end of Machinist, I got like almost 3 million for Fates. So yeah, it's wild. So that's another thing to keep in mind. If you haven't done Bozja yet and you have classes at 71 and you don't really care about like Relic, but let me just say, by the way, Relic, I forget that I'm doing this for a Relic. Yeah. When you're in there, you kind of just want to do it for the story, and then you want the gear, and then you want there's so much else in there that you want. So you kind of forget the Relic. We'll talk about the Relic last, but
remember, if you do want the Relic, and you want to do it through Bozja, to do the quest before you go in, because it's not in there.
Yeah,
it's in the.
It's actually
hidden.
Yes, it is. It's fucking hidden. If you have done the old quest, which you must have to unlock Bozja, I think. Otherwise, I don't think you would have it. The quest is by the same NPC. So the NPC's icon has not changed. It still has the repeatable quest icon. So you would have to know that you have to talk to him. And then you get the list. And then you have to be like, oh, he has a new quest. That's the quest. And if you don't do that quest, you do not get the items required for the Relic. I think. Well, okay. Let's save that for the relic part of this. Yes. So yeah, a great EXP. Go there if you just want to level.
You can treat it like you would Deep Dungeon.
Yeah.
Like as in just do it for some levels. It's
Yeah.
fucking fairly easy. You get some nice rewards. Have some fun. And you get to play your job at 80 instantly.
Yeah.
So hopefully you practice on the dummies in the start if you don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that important for you to play optimally in Bozja.
It's not, but you know, some 80 skills do change some stuff up.
Also, I like the star ranked mobs around the map as well.
Oh yeah, there are NMs on the map as well. So, that bothers me.
What?
Because
Why?
not the fact that they're there, it's the fucking players. So when we played it, we were like, "Wow, look at that! Smoke is up." Our favorite. It's the official speaker's favorite NM. Smoke is up, and everyone was like, "Yeah, okay." And then no one joins to kill it, and you can't kill it with only like 3 people. You need a lot of people to kill it, or you can use death. But do them. You get so many clusters.
It's upsetting that people don't come when you shout for it. Like, come on.
No. The one time we got a bunch of people to do it was like when it was immediately right next to a critical engagement that just ended, and the people were just like, I guess so.
Yeah.
But it's not like they were excited to do it.
No.
It's so many fucking clusters.
Yeah.
Or
No,
whatever.
the fragments or
Fragments.
shards. I don't know what they're called. They have the cluster icon, like the. No, they don't.
They are clusters. It is clusters.
Oh, it is clusters?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
I will say,
yeah.
it's quite scary when they, like, if you sleep it, your deaths fail, you run away, and they start chasing you. If you turn around, very scary.
Yeah,
They will murder you. Don't try to.
Very threatening, very large enemies just running after you.
And they're surprisingly fast. So keep that in mind. Right, let's talk about the music. Final Fantasy XII music, inspired music, I would say, because they use there's like remixed almost. They're new compositions. I think they've made new music, but they've used 12's themes and baked them. It's weird. As someone who hasn't played 12 in a very, very long time, I just vaguely recognize some of the melodies that we hear.
Go watch the 12 playthrough on the channel.
We don't have it anymore.
You took it off? Oh.
It wasn't finished.
Okay.
It wasn't
I
finished.
still cut it up in parts.
No, we are gonna play it one day, like fully again.
But that's for a long time in the future, probably.
Yeah, actually, it would almost make more sense for us to play it now that considering the story.
We can play it next if you want.
We'll see. All right. Yes. So the music is very because it is 12, which is essentially Final Fantasy meets Star Wars. It sounds like Star Wars music.
I don't know about that.
It does. It has
Does
that
it?
like. It's hard to explain Star Wars music. It's like very brassy music. Do you know what I mean? It's very like. It's hard to explain, but you know what I mean.
Hold on. I mean, you go ahead.
All the 12 music plays generally during critical engagements, certain
epic
skirmishes,
epic,
or during the Castrum Lacus Litore run.
Yes.
Because otherwise, in the
theme.
in the overworld,
hope you like the Gangos theme. You'll hear it a lot.
It's so good. I love it.
It's really good. Hey, the non-combat version does not have the voices in it.
That's true.
Only the combat version does within Bozja itself.
Yeah. It is good. It is good. But yeah, the 12 music plays during battle and stuff. And that is quite the epic sound. Good. I like the music in the Castrum, the final boss theme. which can chat help me with that? Where is that from? Does anyone know where it's from? Is that an original track for Bozja, or is it from 12? Because I feel like I can remember it. If anyone knows, be it in chat or in the comments section, please let me know. Okay, so anything else to say about the music? I mean, much better than Eureka, which has one track, well, two tracks, one battle variant and the actual overworld music. But yeah, it's just better. There's more variety in the music. What I do hope is that for the next map they don't just do again. I mean, because then it'll fall into the Eureka trap again, and we'll have well, it's that music again.
Eureka kind of sucked.
Yeah,
you get the stupid fucking violin and like the overworld theme. You know, you remember it?
Yeah, I do.
Well, the other problem with Eureka,
Eureka was boring. Eureka's music was boring.
Eureka's music is boring, but the other problem is it was for 4 zones.
Yeah, that's true.
We don't have time for 4 zones. It's not enough patches.
No. That's true.
There's only going to be 2. No, there's only going to be 2 because the second one, the next patch, they said we're going to get just like a 24-man dungeon.
Yes. Okay, well, speaking of that, because when Yoshi-P presented Bozja originally, he then on the last live letter he mentioned this like instance that we're getting in 5.4, and I thought, and we assumed that was going to be the Baldesion Arsenal, like the big raid content for Bozja, but outside of Bozja, which was kind of weird. Turns out there already is kind of a Baldesion Arsenal in Bozja already. Castrum.
Lacus Litore.
Lacus Litore. I struggle with the name because it's very familiar to other words that I think of a lot when I read that name. Oh. need to get out of this one. Castrum. That Castrum is. I lost my train of thought. Oh yes, Castrum. That is the raid for this.
Thinking about that other thing.
Can't get it out of my head. Yes, so that is Baldesion Arsenal essentially for this. I mean, I think we would say it's a little easier from what I can gather. I haven't done Baldesion Arsenal, but
well, yeah, none of us can personally speak to having done Baldesion Arsenal, but it's also
yeah.
One, it's easier. It is probably just easier overall. 2, it's far more forgiving.
Yes.
It's not one death and you're done.
You can be erased in here, which you cannot in Baldesion Arsenal. However, just like Baldesion Arsenal, and you need to place faith in the worst thing on this planet, humans. You have to coordinate with other humans, and humans be dumb. Okay, we went.
Can we talk about our experience?
Yes.
In there?
Oh hell yes. we did technically 3 runs yesterday. Georgi and I just accidentally got into Castrum in a very botched run where there wasn't enough people and we had no idea what we were doing. And also having Rollo on, and he had already done it. So he's like, oh, now you have, Lakil, you're the party lead. You have to decide where to go. And I'm like, oh, I have to do what? And it's just me and Georgi. Georgi's like, maybe we should disband and join another party. No, I'll invite. And then I can't invite anyone because everyone was quicker than me. So we were like a 2-man party. Anyways, second run went fine. I think the second run was perfect, more or less, right?
Yeah, it was pretty clean overall.
But it was the third one.
We did get volunteered for the DPS check.
Oh, no, that's actually really funny.
We need to talk about this.
Yes, go on.
Rollo was the party leader because the kill didn't want the responsibility.
Yeah.
So he invited a bunch of people. And then Rollo essentially had his leadership ceded. He someone else in our group essentially took over for all the decisions.
It's extra funny because we had put so much emphasis on the fact that the party leader was in charge, which is why I handed it over to Rollo because he'd done it before and I didn't want to deal with that. So Roll was like, okay, we have to do. And then this other person's like, all right, we will go top. And then we just went top, and I was like, what the fuck?
It kept happening too. He's like, okay, we're going this quadrant for the second part.
Yeah.
And then the funniest thing was when the last part, because and people were like, okay, who's gonna go top for the final boss to do the DPS check? And like, the guy asked us, he's like, chat, have you guys done it? One person just said, no, I've never done it. And we don't say anything because we were just fucking mute.
Yeah.
And then one of the person says, yeah, I've done it. And it's like, okay, let's go. Against we didn't wipe, by the way.
No.
Thank God.
We did
That's
that.
so much more pressure. The fucking one-on-one.
Yeah.
Because you have like another 40-something people out there.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Yeah.
Are you going to wipe us and waste a good 30 minutes of our time?
Yeah. Well, we cleared it. We got it a third time. And this is when the flaws of this system started to show, because for some reason everyone wanted to go top. No, sorry, everyone wanted to be bottom.
Yes.
So we were on top, or at first.
Yes.
Then we kind of look around for a second. And we're like, hold on. There's not a lot of people up here. It's like maybe 11, 12. Yeah. And then we're not a full party, by the way, because, okay, please, I beg of you, if you are entering the Castrum and you do not, and you're in like a 3-man party, and someone goes, we're 4 people. Break up your party, join that party, fill up the other parties. We were 5 people for most of the fight. I think
we were 6 at one point.
We were 6 until this
and
fucking
then some
traitor
dude just left at the start for no reason after I had invited him.
He left our party, joined another one.
It was so infuriating. And now at some point, like, people started to break up their parties, but we still didn't get any. So we knew that somewhere out there were 3 people that were in a party that were not saying anything. And I thought, that's very us.
Hey,
that is very us.
We only have 5 out of 8 people. We need some help doing some of the stuff. And then at one point, some dude was like, okay, party leaders call person X in the chat so we know who's here.
Yeah.
And then at press is like, okay, Roll, your group goes over here. And I'm like, we only have 5 people. And no tank. And one healer.
Oh, it was, yeah, okay. So back to the beginning of the fight. We now realize there's like 11 people up here. I think someone communicates the fact that there are 11 people out here, but the bottom has already pulled. So now, fight's on.
No. So the thing is, we said there's only like 11 people up here.
Yeah.
But they just pull anyway. They don't even care.
That's what they said. So that's important. The fact that we expressed concern with the lack of people up top, but bottom no one gave a fuck, it seemed, for that. So they just pulled. And then
third of the party was down there.
What was destined to happen happened. We were like 80% and we looked down and they're like 40%. We're like, what the fuck? We are 89% and you're like 40, and they're like, how did that happen? You said you were enough. No.
No one said that.
No one said that.
Stones.
You fools.
How can you not look around and say, oh, there's a lot of people down here?
But I also love that on our first run, there was this, someone was like, okay, we have to kill them at the same time. Remember that? But our DPS was so high, like it was going, like we were at 11 and bottom was like 30, like 35.
Yeah.
And they're like, slow down. There was this one dude that just went, doesn't matter.
It was the dude in our party.
It was the dude.
Yeah, it was the guy.
It was the hijacker. Yeah. And they were like, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. No explanation. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
No.
They're like, please stop. And they're like, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
And then people were like, stop spreading lies.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, it's new. People don't know what's going on. Just tell us. If it doesn't matter. Just don't be like, it doesn't. No explanation.
There were people in our party that hadn't done this before. They had no idea what's going on. Like, Bottom screaming, like, stop! And they're like, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
To a certain extent, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
But don't just say
but
that.
explain why.
And, yeah.
Please
You could be
explain
like,
why.
hey, you kill the mobs, you get a very long ad phase until you wipe.
Yes.
Or if the other part takes too long.
Yeah.
The ads aren't that bad.
No.
It's just a lot of them.
Yeah. It just felt very stressful because the people at the bottom sounded so like frightened. They're like, please, you must stop. And they're like, doesn't matter. Yeah. So, there were bosses that are cool. There's I like the phase where we have to say, rescue some prisoners.
Yeah.
Execution, very slow execution.
Very slow. Guardians are very slow.
Blunt side of the sword.
I think. What else? Oh yeah, the last boss. Interesting with the DPS check where one party has to break off again.
So we succeeded. The second time there wasn't enough people willing to do it, so they slowly had to pull together a party of people from the other parties who were willing to go up top.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that Rollo's in our party. To be honest, I've done it, but I don't want to do it.
If that's okay with you.
I wanted them to know the truth, and you know what? It is too hard for it.
There was a very awkward moment where people were like, "All right, we have they were like making a party that could go and do the DPS check," and they're like, "All right, all we need now are 2 DPS and a healer." And it was just we got quiet for a second, and I'm like, "That's us." we're 2 DPS and a healer, and we have done it before, but we didn't say anything.
No, because we had party of other randos. I didn't want to.
Yeah, we didn't want to leave our.
I didn't want to abandon our party of 5 because then it was just left 2 DPS.
Yeah. Oh yes, shout out to Yell Chat, which has been finally it has a proper use now. That's what you use to talk in Castrum now. Yeah.
Also,
so yeah. Oh yeah.
When you leave Castrum, don't go leave Judy.
There was a very funny moment where we were like, okay, Castrum is over. The instance we were in is gonna die now. We can keep that instance for ourselves, and then we can go farm all the NMs. I just opened the duty finder, click leave instance. You have left Rolo Des's party. I'm in Gangos. Also important to mention as well is that the chests. You mustn't forget the chests.
Don't forget the chests.
Yeah.
They are personal just for you, not for the party, and they're easy to miss.
Yes.
There is 3 sets to remember.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's one after the first pair of bosses.
Mm-hmm.
There's up to 7 that appear after the second boss, depending on how many prisoners you save.
Yeah. The first
what
one
were you
is
gonna say? Sorry,
the first one is the easiest to miss because it's immediately after they break through the door. So a lot of people are just rushing over it. So yeah.
Yeah. So you don't necessarily see it, and it's not immediately after you. It's not the section immediately after like the 2 bosses. It's just after and before you get into the like rescuing the prisoners.
Mm-hmm.
So like you're already thinking about the.
What?
You're already thinking about the next step.
Yes.
Because on the chest you can just 0 on your keypad.
That's
too.
true.
As long as you're near it, it'll open it up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little annoying when you have all the chests because the chest doesn't disappear immediately after you've opened it. So if you press 0 again, it'll just keep trying to target the same chest. Very annoying. All right. Castrum?
No medal for clearing it, by the way. So
no medal. No.
Yeah. So any medal you lose in the process of clearing it, know that you won't get any compensation at the end of it.
I had 250,000 medal when we started yesterday, and at the end I had 190.
Ooh.
Yeah, so
that's rough.
Pretty rough. Every time I had to release, it cost like 4,750 medal, and then there's like 1,000 medal every time I just die. So yeah, it's rough.
That's the old MMO feeling.
Yes, yeah. That is. It's a good. This is a better way of doing it than Eureka, because in Eureka,
Absolutely.
losing EXP is worse. Like seeing the bar like tick down. Next time I die, I'm gonna get that horrible message. Level down.
Yeah. Well, the other problem with leveling down in Eureka is it makes you weaker.
Yes.
Here, even thankfully you can't rank down.
No.
Which would have been unfortunate, but also it's still not as bad. But the fact that you only lose metal it makes you feel bad.
Yeah.
But it's not.
It hurts.
It's
you can swallow it though.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So Castrum is a very good system. It is overworld, so it has the flaws that we mentioned, but that's just how that content works. You mentioned it when we did it, Jurgi. I do like the system of having the instance having time limits for the bosses, and then when you clear them, you gain extra time to do the next boss. That's a good system.
Good raid. Reminds of older MMOs.
Yes. It's the perfect amount of nostalgia, like old MMO style, without being as horrible as they would be if you like Eureka. I'm talking about Eureka. As horrible as Eureka.
Yeah. Also, you got optional objectives in a fucking raid, which is not something we've seen in a pretty long. When was the last time we had that? Aside from just random chests in a Realm Reborn dungeons.
Yeah, I don't think we have them. 1.0 had them, but I don't think our Realm Reborn ever had. So yeah,
that's cool. That's cool. I like it.
Yeah. Okay. It's hard to remember the fact that this is supposed to be tied in with the Relic. It is.
Who?
It's less tied to the Relic than I expected. The fact that the unlocked quest is hidden and also in Gangos is very strange. Geralt is not setting up shop in Bozja. You have but they have made a major mistake with this relic, and I do not understand why they have done this. They have made it easier to obtain the relic outside of Bozja. Wait, that's the end of the sentence. Why did I make it sound like I had more? Yeah. They have made it easier to obtain the relic outside of Bozja. Why? You only have to do some fates in Heavensward areas and 6 Heavensward dungeons, right? Isn't that all that you have to do?
I've heard that 6 Heavensward dungeons is enough to get through the second step.
Right. Yes. Why? Why wouldn't it be the other way around?
So Heroes in chat is saying that it's to filter people out. So if you want to do Bozja, do Bozja. If you want to do the Relic, do the Relic. But you're gonna have to do Bozja to get to the next step. I'm pretty sure. You have to get to the story.
Yeah.
Content. You have to do Bozja regardless.
I
mean, if you don't want to grind in there, sure, but you still have to get through it.
You have the story is rank gated, so you have to get through.
Assumedly, you'll have to clear Lacus Litore at some point.
Yeah,
because it's tied to the story.
Yeah, for the next for the next step. So what they're just doing is there's no escaping Bozja. If you're doing the relic, if you want to get to the next step, you're gonna have to get through it anyway. So it's very strange. Also, I specifically remember them saying that if by just doing the story, you'll get the relic, you'll have a, I can't remember the wording, but the impression was do the story, and that should be fine for the relic, right?
So what I took away from that was that I was guessing that we would get a free relic in the same way we did when we did the last part of the story.
Yeah.
But that's not the case with this step.
No. It's very strange.
Which I'm fine with. I didn't need a free relic.
No.
But
I was against
understand
that. So,
what.
Yeah.
I don't understand why it's easier to get it outside of Bozja. That's the really perplexing part about this.
Yeah.
Because even set it up as like, oh, it's gonna be a big grind. If
Yeah,
you
he was
try and
like,
do it
oh,
outside of Bozja.
maybe it's Atma, maybe it's light, but it's not. So,
Feels like this, like the outside part of it would have been added like later, maybe. Like I don't know, in 5.4.
I assume it's for people getting more than one relic. Yeah, but then they should have made it so that you at least did the Bozja stuff and then unlock it on the outside. It's very strange that you can just get it that quick. Mela got it in a day.
Yeah, it's very weird that they did it this way because, like, thankfully Bozja is like fun and interesting and like compelling to keep doing, but it could have been bad if no one responded well to Bozja and then like the content just died.
Yeah. Well, I guess we kind of explain. Well, Bozja is more than just a relic place. I'll give it that. We said that initially that there's so much more to Bozja than what with Eureka. That was all you were really there for, except if you're Rollo, you just do it so you can.
Listen, I wanted to
criticize it.
Yeah.
I wanted to enjoy the content for what it was, and also get through the story.
Yeah,
which was.
Well, yeah, I think as chat is implying here, that we're saying is that the people that don't like that kind of content can just not do it, and then they don't have to complain about it, I guess. So they can get a free... But that's such a weird thing to do, because they're like, oh yeah, we'll reward those people that don't like the content for relics by giving them a relic really quickly. And then the people that like relics and like the system will have to work for like weeks and weeks to get the relic. Yeah. It's very strange.
It's very weird. I would have understood it more if it was like, there's like a 25% chance. Even that, like, that's still really high.
Yeah.
A 25% chance to get like memories from the Heavensward Fates.
Yeah.
And then like, it would take like a couple of weeks worth of doing regular dungeons, like not enough that like you can't bring yourself to bring yourself to like grind it out immediately. The kind of grind where you want to stagger it out over a couple of weeks. That would have made more sense for the alternative way of getting the relic.
Yes. Yeah. And I know you can get it faster if you do it really hardcore. That's true. But it's still slower than the people outside. So why would you, if you are in that mindset, right? You want to get the relic fast. Why the fuck would you do it in Bozja then? Why would you spend like 3 or 4 times the time it takes to get a relic in Bozja when you can get it really
fun?
Yeah. But
there you go.
For me, when I do Bozja, I don't do it for the fragments because I know that I can just get it really fast outside. I'm just doing it for the gear, for the clusters that I can, for the mount, for the hair, for all that stuff. That's why I'm doing Bozja right now, and for the story until I completed it. I don't know. It's strange.
We've still got to get to rank 15 so we can empty our inventories.
Yes, because you get those fragments that you can't appraise until you're max level rank. So yeah, there's that. Also that's the thing to fill out to get all of the actions as well. That's also a goal, I guess. Okay, so that's the relic. The relic is sort of in the background of Bozja. It's hardly a thing in Bozja for me right now. Let's talk about Beastmaster for a moment because there's a lot of it. There's a lot more than I expected in Bozja.
They're very much sowing those seeds in your mind, huh?
Yeah, I think it's very obvious that we are getting Beastmaster now. Like, if there's no doubt in my mind that Beastmaster is coming in some form, probably limited. Yeah, it's cool to see Beastmaster like just in the game now. It's a little annoying in Fates because there's a Fate, especially Seek and Destroy, which has this Seek summoning a lot of beasts, and a lot of people kill all the beasts first because the Seek is like kind of off to the side, so people don't see him. So they kill all the mobs, and then they start mounting up and leave the Fate because they're like, we're done. And the Seek is just like unengaged, just standing on the hilltop, and then everyone has to turn around and kill him. It's funny. But yeah, pro tip: kill the Beastmaster first. Isn't that the tactic?
Yeah, because the Beastmaster will buff whatever mobs that they've got trained.
Yeah. Yes. So that's big hype. I hope we get a Pokemon Beastmaster limited job. That would be really cool. Probably 6.0 if. Well, it has to be 6.0. I would be very surprised if.
Are you sure? Remember, we got Blue Mage in 4.5.
You're right. That was really surprising. I remember that. Yeah.
That was very surprising. We are also getting Blue Mage updates in the next patch.
That might be why they're so prevalent in Bozja as well. They're like really putting it in our minds. Like
yeah. Imagine if it's a limited job that's tied to completing Bozja though.
That'd be
because we will get final part of Bozja in 5.5. So
that would be funny. Okay, yeah, but that would make sense as well. That's the only place we've seen Beastmaster so far. So
unfortunately, I don't think they're ever going to lock a class behind something like that.
That would be too awful. Okay, story. Spoilers. We're gonna talk spoilers.
We'll go a bit over time.
Well, we're gonna go over time. It's fine. We don't have that many questions. Bonk. It's just. So if you haven't done the story for Bozja, you must turn away now. Mute us. Come back in 15
or
minutes.
Don't if you care. If you don't care about the story being spoiled.
Or don't. You can also if you want to be spoiled, that's fine. If you did your relic outside of Bozja and you don't care about cool shit. All right. So the story, huh? I was very surprised by the story. This is some MSQ level story.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yes. I don't even really know where to begin, but we'll start from the beginning. Where do we even begin in this? I'm so like I'm rattled after yesterday, but yes.
The story pretty much immediately sets you up in Bozja. There's there's not really any preamble. Like it's like 4 text boxes in, and then you're in Bozja, and then the rest of the story is pretty much entirely in the Southern Front.
Yeah. There's we're working on. What are we working on getting this Aura site stuff?
Well, are we not going to find the Queen's Blade, right?
Yes.
Yes, it's tied to the fact that Geralt can't continue to upgrade Gunhilda's blades right now because he's not able to get the correct text or magically infused text on the weapons. Mm-hmm. So we have to go to Bozja and then deploy certain beacons so that they can potentially find the information in the lost memories, which are mostly trapped in crystals, but I don't really understand how the beacons work.
No.
Now that I think about it.
No, I don't know either.
I just stick them in the ground. I don't know.
Yeah. We get to see a few. Do we learn about what's her name?
Mikoto?
No, not Mikoto. The other one, Mishika.
Mishika. Okay. Can I just say, Bozjan names are horrible to pronounce. I don't know how to pronounce 95% of them, but yeah, Mishia.
Misija.
Don't look at her last name.
No, I won't.
I don't know what her last name is.
I don't want to know.
I can't imagine what it would be like.
You know what? Here, it's a full name for you. Have some fun.
Okay. Well, it's kind of like Eastern European looking.
Yeah.
Misija Votjash. Let's
By
call
the way,
her.
love Misija.
Yeah. Misija.
She's a very nice lady who makes some very funny faces.
Yeah, she does.
Oh, yeah, she does.
But we might get to those a bit later.
Yeah. Turns out, at some point we get to see what she's doing.
Well, first we find out that she's lowborn.
Yeah, she's lowborn.
The story for Bozja is very weird because we are helping the bourgeoisie. And
Yeah.
for a certain extent.
Yeah. She's lowborn. There was little. It was kind of surprising that when we first got the reveal that she is actually assisting the Garleans.
Or at least the Fourth Legion.
Yeah, the Fourth
Legion.
Legion.
We're getting the impression that the Fourth Legion is not really cooperating with the homeland.
Yes. Which is interesting because when they revealed Bozja, there was a lot of focus on the fact that it was the Fourth Legion. Like in all of the promo stuff, it was like the Fourth Legion. There's no Garlemald isn't really mentioned in the stuff for Bozja.
Lots of Noah.
No. Yeah.
Noah Gabranth is the man apparently.
Yeah. Well, it turns out she's handing information over to the Fourth Legion, led by a legatus whose name I cannot remember right now, but he has.
We're gonna try.
I thought Gabranth was the leader, but like
but
the current commander it's Menenius.
Menenius is in charge. He's the commander right now, like on the Fourth Legion, while Gabranth is in Dalmasca, I think, or is he in the capital? I don't know. He has a wild legatus armor, very spiky helmet, evil looking armor.
Not a nice
as usual. Yeah. So what happens then? That we don't know this. This is just something the player sees that she's doing.
We're just spending our time placing transmitters or something.
Yeah, we're placing transmitters at that point. Yeah.
Apparently a character people hate a lot. So
who?
The bunny girl.
Oh.
Is her name Lilia?
Lilia.
Lilia seems nice. I don't know why people don't like her.
Why? She could have been more.
Lilia's fine.
She would have been more likable if she didn't have those fucking sunglasses. There's something about those sunglasses that piss me off every time I see them.
Why?
I don't know. It's like you know what it feels like? It feels like a player, like a person from Earth that knows about the game and is a big fan of the game has been like pushed into the game, and they're like, oh hell yeah, and they're like, oh, I'm a big fan, fuck, like that's how I feel like what she is, because of the sunglasses, because the sunglasses are like so lore inappropriate. I hate them so much. Oh, I hate them. I just remove them, take them off, throw them away.
She's not the first like MSQ tier character to have sunglasses.
No, I know, but when you're referring to Nero,
yes,
but Nero had way more appropriate sunglasses, right? He didn't wear those.
I agree.
Fucking Ray-Bans over there, like he. I don't know. It's so weird.
Nice to her. She's a nice lady.
She is not a bad character in terms of personality.
Her role.
Her yeah. I just don't like the concept of her. There you go.
Okay.
I have to say that the sunglasses do take me out a little bit. Like, they feel very.
She puts them up at one point, so
yeah, she does. She does. Yeah.
That doesn't make them go away though.
No,
they're still there.
Yeah, I know that we have fucking cars, but they don't appear in cutscenes.
No.
Cutscenes have always been very like, okay, we have a fucking theme park where people are driving little sperm mounts, but you don't see them in the MSQ, right? No. Well, this isn't MSQ, but this is like MSQ level story, and it 100% probably, so 95% will tie into the MSQ in some way. Anyways, where were we? Oh yeah, she is introduced. She's like, "Hey, it's me with Ray-Bans. I'm here to be a fangirl."
You put down beacons. I have to say, when they say that the beacons bury into the ground, they don't really bury into the ground. They're more sort of like teleport into the ground.
Yeah.
Fucking phase shift into the ground.
Yeah.
So yes, there's a couple of cutscenes. Well, there's the story. There's our raw girl. I also forget her name all the time.
Mikoto.
Mikoto. She's with the Rogadan lady, and
Nisija.
yeah, and she. I'll just call her M. And
Confusing because they both have names starting with M.
yeah, but Mikoto I can remember. The other one I
Okay.
cannot. So she takes her hostage. Essentially, she's like, okay, you were with me now, and then that's it. She's gone. Right. I just want to skip to the end because that's the most exciting part. But there's also
We also find Queen the sword too.
Yeah, the sword is found.
Yes, we do.
Yes, that's what leads to her being kidnapped. Is that the moment they find the sword, and she's like, finally got the sword, and then, haha, I gotcha. I am not good, and then they take Mikoto.
She disappears in a puff of smoke.
Yes. Well, we're there, and we're like, oh, fuck, don't take her. We have someone with sunglasses down in the... You can take her instead. But, yeah, they disappear in a puff of smoke. And then there's a cutscene with the Legatus giving us some exposition. They're explaining... the plan of Noah's plan, Gabrand's plan. Noah, brother of Bosch, right? Or son?
I want to say son, but I'm not sure.
They show this son. So they show this really nice Evilesian style artwork of Bosch and Noah.
It's really nice looking.
Yes.
I really like the artwork whenever they show us stuff from the Evilesian past.
Yeah. They explain that Noah believes, and most of the people in the Fourth Legion believes, that Garlemald's fall is nigh. That whenever it inevitably falls, Noah can create a new nation out of the ruins that Garlemald is left behind in Dalmasca and well, there's nothing left of Bozja, I guess, but whatever they can salvage from Bozja. They angle it as if Noah's like this really good leader, that he does not like, he's very inclusive. He doesn't. There's not going to be any of that divide that they had before under Noah. I wonder.
Pretty inclusive for Garland, that's for sure.
Yeah,
he is very inclusive.
Yeah,
about the only race native to the region that we haven't seen associated with them is a Hrothgar.
Yeah, right. So that's sort of their ultimate plan. They want to get the. Is that why they want to get the blade? No. The blade is for.
Well, the blade is to gain control.
Yeah, that's
essentially. I think it's just a weapon to maintain power over the region.
Yeah,
they talk about it earlier when you first go into Sid's memories or whatever. They have that one cutscene. It's like, we're gonna use the power of primal to.
Yeah. That's what it was. Also, want to mention that again. Another weird choice they made from 12 to 14 is that Bosch and Noah are brothers in 12. And now it's father and son in 14. All right. Okay. I guess that makes it a more unique story. Okay. Maybe they did that so they could make Noah younger. Because
probably.
Yeah. It's possible. I wonder what he's going to look like in-game. Because Evilesian artwork makes everyone look very... I don't think they can make that Noah in 14 You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's gonna look very different. Yes. So that's the plan. Mikoto wakes up. This is a really cool cutscene. There's we get a lot of story again with M explaining the story of Gunhilder.
Yes.
Where we see this like mural thing of female Hrothgar.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah.
A bit thin.
Yeah. And one Rogadin in there, I guess, explaining that Gunhilder. What was? Can someone explain the story of Gunhilder?
The queens of Gunhilder or whatever. There's tons of them.
Yeah.
Usually Hrothgar, but they didn't have to be Hrothgar. They just were because that was the most populous race in the area. So it could have been anybody.
Yeah.
But then she's M is like, you don't know the true thing about Gunhilder, huh?
Mhm.
And the Queen's Blade. Did you know she could channel a primal
Mm.
like a fucking Ysael? How do I know about her?
Uh-huh.
I just do. Shut up.
Yes.
Impression that she's possibly a descendant
Mhm.
of
Yes.
the shrine maiden, the
Yeah.
slave girl,
I
the
don't-
one. So they needed to turn the queen into a primal so that they had a chance. So this is all the way back during the fourth.
Third. No,
The
fourth. Fourth.
I think they've been mentioning the fourth umbral era,
Yeah.
astral era. So they need. I don't know what they were defending against in the fourth astral era, but they needed
Aliens.
what?
No, it was third. It wasn't it Allegans? Yeah. No. They were using Allegan. Chat.
They were
27,000 years ago.
Unhelpful. Don't know what was 27,000 years ago. Sorry.
Now we have to count. Sixth Astral was 1,500.
Okay, so it is the Allegans.
It
I'm
was
just
Allegans, so it's the
confused 'cause
third-
I definitely
third
because I definitely remember them mentioning the fourth astral era. That's why I'm like I distinctly remember that and thinking, why would they mention the fourth astral era? Anyway,
Wait, no,
So,
no,
yeah,
no.
they-
I think it's because we're at the end of the third Astral. Yeah, Alleg wasn't 27. Okay. Let's ignore the timeline for now, because we're clearly off here, but whatever. Yes, whatever era it happened in. Yeah?
yeah. So they whoever they were fighting against, it's irrelevant right now.
Yeah.
They needed a primal to fight against whoever was trying to defeat them, I guess.
Yeah.
But they didn't want to sacrifice their queen at the time because they realized that they'd probably have to put down the primal after they'd used it for its purposes. However, so they ended up using one of the people from the lower caste, which happened to be a Rogadin, a Rogadame. However, they thought we'll just kill her afterwards.
Yeah.
But this particular Rogadin ended up having the Echo, so she was able to control the primal inside of her, similarly to a Zell. They make that comparison in the game.
Yeah. Yes.
And as a result, they were like, oh, we don't want her to have this power.
Yeah.
And the Queen's Guard assassinated her.
They became Queen Slayers.
Mm.
They committed regicide. That's all the words I know for killing a monarch.
I believe regicide is specifically kings.
No.
Is it?
I think it applies to both. What is the female form of what's queen in Latin?
It says king. So
Regina.
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 No, Regina.
Okay.
I don't like how that's pronounced. Anyway, you know what? We're having a good time in Bozja. So you go.
Yeah.
You
Hold
go
on.
with
No,
their-
wait. We need to correct this. Regicide still works because it's only REG. Ecide,
that's
which
fine.
means kit to kill, right? So it's no Regis. Oh, that's king. Okay, this Discord's died, and now I'm coming back. Ooh, oh, I think our audio's coming back. We're slowly recovering. Ah. All right, I'm back. Hello. Oh, wow.
Oh, hey.
Everything is on auto, which is bad news. Let me fix that real quick. Okay, well, that's good. I don't know what the fuck just happened.
Where'd you go? Oh, you're back again.
I'm back. Everything is fine.
So
Yes, continue, Rollo.
yeah. Bozja, to finish it off, you get to the end. M is there, and she's like, haha, here's Makoto. I'm going to kick her off a very high edge, which looks painful.
Mm-hmm.
She's really mean to Makoto. I don't like how much physical abuse Makoto goes through in, like, particularly the last couple of quests.
Fucking kicks her. It's like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Yeah.
But she grabs it, or she's like, hey, War of Lake, come with me. We're going to a memory right now with Makoto. So we're going to do that. And then you go back to the memory. It's when they kill Gunhilder or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see it happen. And for some reason, her ghost pops up in the memory.
Yeah.
She's like, she's watching herself die.
Mm-hmm.
He's like,
She's
well,
Well,
it happens.
yikes.
and
I
she's
guess.
also, but she's pretty forgiving as well. She's like, I hope I did a good job.
Yeah.
And then Misas just comes up. It's like, hey, you know, they fucking killed you. You should kill him. And then she's like, oh, they did kill me.
Yeah. Yeah.
and somehow this affects the present.
Yes.
That's enough to bring her
The
memory.
ghost to life.
Yes. Yes.
But and then she tempers the fucking blades.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck's happening?
That cutscene is wild. Yeah, she tempers like half of the blades there.
She tempers all of the blades that are wielding like Gunhilda's blades.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
pretty sure.
Yeah. So now we retreat, and they're like, "Oh God, we need to help them," and then we're like, "Sorry, dude, you can't. Though there's no cure for that yet."
No cure for tempering.
Yeah. And then,
we
we missed the best part because she's like going, rah, rah. the M is just like going fucking mental over there. It's like, woo-hoo-hoo! I have the power, and then just the most abrupt end to that cutscene. She's just like,
Shut.
She's just fucking shot.
She takes it like a champ, though.
Yeah.
She's fine. But they're doing fucking
Thankfully, because up until that point, she's like, I guess she's trying to temper all of us. Because we're using that power to block, like, I assume like the tempering aura.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to describe it, but it's similar to when we were blocking it in the fight against the story fight against Lakshmi in 3.1.
Yeah.
4.1, sorry.
Yeah.
And she's shot by the Bunga. I don't remember his name. Mwabi?
One of them.
Woo something?
I can't remember his name. Bwagi.
Bwagi. Okay.
So he's back. And we retreat.
Mentions Fran.
Yeah, mentions Fran. And then they're like, okay, let's go back to
Gangos. There's nothing else for us here.
Yeah.
How do you find us?
So quite annoyingly, you have to leave the instance to finish the story. But yeah, he has a lore dump, by the way. So make sure you talk to Bwagi now if you haven't already. He tells you about the situation in Dalmasca.
Yeah.
They mention Nalbina Fortress, which is really cool.
They also mention like Valnane.
Yes, they do. There's some cool stuff in there. And that's the story essentially. It leaves again. It leaves us with some questions about where this is going next. It's very interesting that we're becoming very Evilise heavy in the future, I think. We're tilting towards a very Evilisian expansion, maybe even. We now have like Dalmasca, as it is explained to us, seems to be very big. Like they have a lot of real estate up there. So I would not be surprised if most of the next expansion will be like Dalmascan areas, which I would love. From what we've seen of Bozja, which isn't pure Evilise, it's like this fusion of like, it's like a little bit of Evilise, a little bit of, I don't know what the other element is, but it's just not quite.
It's like 14 Garlian-esque. You see.
Yeah, you have that. Yeah.
It's also a little bit of like Othard.
Yeah, a little bit. You can see it's a little bit. And I, as someone who really loved the aesthetic of Evilise, it makes me very happy, of course. But I think one of the big themes here is, at the end of this story, is tempering, which is really interesting because one character was brought back briefly at the end of Stormblood, Gabu, who is still not cured. He's tempered, but he's like trying, like he's fighting in there. And was his story in Heavensward?
They mentioned him.
It started in Heavensward.
Remember Heavensward? He said. Again, also, another thing pointing to Heavensward.
Yeah. Chat's bringing up 5.1. Remember, they were also making comparisons to like being touched by Sin Eaters to being something similar to tempering as well.
Yes.
And how they might be able to potentially cure that.
Yeah. That's really interesting. Yeah.
Because they introduced a lot of cool characters with the blades.
Yeah.
And they're like,
yeah.
A lot of cool characters with a lot of backstory in that collection log.
Yeah. So I guess the next part of the story will be trying to find a cure for tempering, and maybe we'll be able to cure our little kobold friend as well. I'll say we'll be very happy with that. So that's the story. Very roughly speaking. I mean, we did not go. That's we
block it out.
As retold by speakers, which is often very rough. But there you go. All right, spoilers are over. You can come back if you had us muted. It is safe to come back.
How did you like Bozja? Southern Front.
Very good.
Very satisfied with. This is the best like open world content they've made.
Spoilers are over.
Content they made.
Yeah.
Like this is.
You keep saying that, but like they can't hear you.
Oh.
Sorry, I'm just telling the people that I was muted that it's fine to come back in. Yes. The only things that I have that pulls it down a bit is the stuff. It's like the relic not being easier to get the relic outside of this content. That's really my biggest gripe with this.
We lost Deep Dungeon for this, so you know what? It's worth it.
Yeah.
I'm not upset about this.
I'm not upset. No.
I like Deep Dungeon too, by the way.
Yeah. Good EXP, relic progression, MSQ level story, good music, cool battles. It has like everything, and also gear that can be obtained, mount, hair, minions. I think we should mention the lockboxes just briefly, because I hope you like Indigo Stars.
Yeah.
What if Indigo Stars are plot important? Like, why are you just getting Indigo? Blue.
There's a. Lakil explained briefly. Did you do that on stream when Rollo wasn't there, Lakil? Did you explain why it's Indigo Stars?
Oh yes, yeah. Indigo Stars are from the Hamlet defense system in 1.0, and we found out that lore description is still on the Indigo Star today. It says that it was used in the hamlet of Hurstmelt for celebrations. So there you go. That was
Wow.
He also Lakil explained something very sad
Yeah.
to us during the stream, Lakil,
Yeah.
which is sorry, Rollo, was that once they did Hamlet defenses, once they'd cleared them, they'd all just use their indigo stars together to celebrate that they'd cleared the Hamlet defense.
We did
And then
have
that was
a
it.
lot back then. That was
And
cool.
that was it. They'd use their reward up for their 6 seconds of joy.
Oh, it was
Okay.
a different time. All right. Well, that's that. I'm sorry we couldn't read Mogmail today either. I think so. What we'll do what we've done before. Mogmail is moved up next, so we'll start with Mogmail next week.
There's no
also
news
don't
next week anyway.
No,
Yeah, I don't necessarily think there'll be much news next week to talk about other than
but we'll still
However,
shuffle
the-
it just in case.
Yeah.
So,
however the Make It Rain event turns out.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. That is the end of the episode. Remember to follow on Twitter at SpeakersXIV, twitch.tv/SpeakersOfIreland, YouTube.com/SpeakersXIV, exclamation Discord in chat if you want to join our Discord server. If you're watching on demand, link is in the description. Remember to send us Mogmail, SpeakersXIV.com/Mogmail. And if you're watching live, post shows coming up. And we'll see you there. If not, same time, same place next week. Goodbye.